Hi guys, welcome back to my Flosstube. This is episode number 20, and my big news for today is this is the launching of my Flosstube on its own YouTube channel. So you'll see this video on my Phoebe Moon channel, which is mainly about nail polish, but it will also be posted on my new channel, and I hope that you follow me over there if you enjoy my Flosstube and subscribe to me there. The reason for the move is that makes it so that people who are only interested in nail polish don't have my Flosstube videos showing up in their subscription feed and vice versa. So if you're only interested in Flosstube, if you follow me over on my, it's actually my third YouTube channel, you can find just Flosstube there and you won't have any nail polish videos in your subscription feed. So my new channel is called Moonshine Stitchery. You guys know that my nail polish brand is called Moonshine Manny because my last name is Moon and nail polish is shiny. But because I've already been using that branding for the last 6 years, I'll just go ahead and call my Flosstube channel Moonshine Stitchery. That way, if in the future I ever decide to do things like sell linen that I've hand-dyed or anything like that, I can sell it under that name as well. So Moonshine Stitchery is where you're going to find my Flosstube from here on out. Like I said, I hope you come follow over there, and I will, if you're watching this video here on my new Flosstube channel, welcome. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for subscribing. And this is going to be where we talk about cross-stitching. So usually in my updates, I do them once every 2 weeks, and this is going to be a normal update video, not an extra or anything. So we'll follow the same format that we usually do, which is I talk about my usually 5 or 6 whips for the 2-week period. Yes, I switch between whips that frequently because I get kind of bored, but also I'm just so excited to stitch on all the things that I find myself wanting to frequently switch because I'm just so happy and excited about all the different things that I love to stitch on right now. I used to be a monogamous stitcher, but no longer. 2022 switched me from being a monogamous stitcher to wanting to stitch all the things, and I haven't got out of that initial resurgence, renaissance bug to just stitch all the things. So that's what I'm still in the process of doing. The first thing that we're going to do today is talk about my whips. So I did stitch on 5 different things. One of them is a new start. I really enjoyed everything that I stitched on this week so much. This craft brings me so much joy, so much peace of mind and grounding. If you are interested in starting or picking back up cross stitching and you need any tips, I mean, I can first of all point you to many Flosstubes, but feel free to direct message me on either the Phoebe Moon Instagram account or the Moonshine Manny Instagram account, and we can chat over there about a good place to start. But it's just so nice and peaceful, and for me it feels so good to like when you see an accomplishment of something that you had like gold for yourself to work on, or even just putting in 2 flosses a day on a project or something. When you see that filled, it feels like I just love the little accomplishments of all of it. It's a pat on the back, but it's also like you can meditate at the same time. It's really nice. The first thing we're going to do is take a look at my whips, which stands for Works in Progress. So here is the first project that I worked on after my last Flosstube. This is Spring Montage from Paine Free Crafts. I will put up what the finished design is going to look like. This is one of my 2 full coverage pieces. I enjoy this one more than the Hare, I think, primarily because I'm stitching it on this Ada instead of the 28 count Lugana that the other one stitched on, which is over 1, because it was just going to be too huge. This one is still going to be huge, but this is stitched on, I think this is 18 count over 1. So it's more enjoyable because I can actually see the project taking form, and it goes a little quicker for me because I'm not stitching on such a small count for me. So this time I did another diagonal. So I believe I started here at the bottom and I went up to the top. As you can see, I'm using the diagonal parking method. And I'm still really enjoying this piece. I'm excited to be changing up the colors a little bit. I do get to switch it up coming up like right over here pretty soon. So I'm excited for that. I am still really enjoying this. It's just that doing a whole diagonal now takes so much longer than before. So I believe it took me 3 days to accomplish that diagonal. And it's only like, you guys have seen me working on this, but it's only like from here to the edge. It's really a small amount that I'm just adding each time. But I hadn't stitched on this since before, like since around Halloween time, I think. So I had been missing it, and I did enjoy it. It's just, it took so long. I used to be able to be like, oh, today I'm going to do a diagonal and then I'll move on to another project, but can't do that anymore. So anyway, yes, that is my progress on that piece. The next thing I worked on was a new start. I think this is my only new start to share with you this floss tube. I decided I wanted to stitch this both after seeing, was it Lisa Kindred Stitcher? Somebody finished this recently or shared it in a whip parade or something, and I was just like, oh. So I had to get this book. But then I had to start this for the 4th of January is when I started it. I decided I don't have any patriotic stitches going right now, and I really want to have one. So I'm just going to stitch on this every 4th. And I really, really love it. So this is by Blackbird. The pattern is called Salute to Abigail, and I just went ahead and picked some flosses from Stash because I didn't have any of the ones that were called for, and I kind of had just gotten a Hare that day and decided that I really wanted to start a patriotic stitch. So I just grabbed these from Stash. We have Gentle Arts Buckeye Scarlet, we have Gentle Arts Blue Jay, and then we have Weeks Navy, and then also light khaki as well. And I really like how they go together. They might be slightly more vibrant than the called for flosses, but I think they're great. And here's how far I got. I actually, this is just the one floss. This is Navy from Weeks, and I'm really loving it. It is a delight. And so you'll see progress on this like maybe every other floss tube. I'm stitching this on a piece of 40 count that I hand dyed. It has some teal in there among the kind of rosy brown, and I thought that that would be a fun, just kind of different, interesting look for this to be stitched on. So I'm looking forward to getting more progress on this one. The next project that I stitched on was my New Year New Start, which is Chatelaine. This is Holland Mandala, and this is actually not facing the right way, but it's a mandala, so it pretty much is. You can't really tell anything in here that's going to be too different. Right here, these kind of, they're not octagons, but these kind of shapes that are going to be the border, they each house like different what are they, windmills in here. So I have started into those, but you can't tell too much which side I'm on. So I'll just leave it at that. So anyway, this is my Chatelaine, and I'm so happy with it. I stitched on this a lot in the last couple weeks, if you can't tell. I have very slowly been building up the flosses for this piece, and I love every single one of them. It's a mix of pretty much all silks. I also ordered some treasure braids that aren't here yet, which are going to be used as well. And then, of course, I haven't started any of the beading yet because I will probably save that to the end, just so that I'm not messing with them that much. But I'm really loving it. I specifically picked this piece because I liked the bright contrast of the white and the kind of like Delft blue, but there's also so much green in here, and I just really love the look. Besides that, stitching with these flosses is such a treat. I almost never get knots. The pull through the fabric is just so nice. I guess I'm the type of person that does like that kind of ASMR pull through. So yeah, I've been really enjoying this. I purchased this at 123stitch.com, just like a lot of other things that I purchased. I'll put down in the description bar as always wherever I got something. And there are so many MPIs, Dinky Dyes, Glorianas, Karen Water Lilies, and others required for this piece. And I'm just very slowly picking up a few at a time. And so when I get a new floss, I will pop it in where it goes. And so yeah, it's very exciting. It's super enjoyable. As you can see, I didn't even finish up this floss. I don't know what I was doing, but I switched to something else. This is Cucumber from, is it Gloriana? Anyway, it's so nice. Loving this. Loving this. It's actually making me feel like I never want to go back to stitching with cotton, just because I love the silk so much. It just feels so nice. I mean, I will be stitching things with DMC, don't worry, but I don't know. This is just really enjoyable. So Yeah, this is my expensive floss piece, and I just enjoy it while I'm using them. On my nails today, by the way, is a new polish from my independent nail polish brand called Moonshine Manny. If you've never come to check us out before, I encourage you to do so. I always link the website in the description bar below of anything that I mention in the video. And this is our new Project Dupe It for January. It's called Ruby Tuesday, and if you haven't checked out our Project Dupe It series, I encourage you to do that as well. So yeah, you can just click on the link and see what I'm talking about. If you've never tried indie nail polish before, it's super fun. You're supporting a small business, but you also get really unique handcrafted combinations of super fun things that can go in nail polish if you've never tried it before. So that's what that is. The next project that I stitched on is Matter's Choice by Carriage House Samplings. This is the first of hopefully many heritage samplers that I will work on. And I'm not using this color palette at all, but I just love this monochromatic sampler. And I plan to put my paternal grandmother's name in here. So, or probably where these hearts are. And anyway, I'll figure it out. But here's how the pattern looks. And then here's my progress. So the last time you saw this, I had stitched like these 5 creatures only. So in the last couple weeks, I spent probably like 3 days moving all the way over. So I think first I took the border and I just completely outlined the border. And then I worked on the completion of the little banner. So that means that after that, I get to move down into, there's like some weather vanes, and of course the house will be delightful. Maybe I'll just come straight down into the house. I'm stitching this on a piece of hand-dyed 40 count. It has some nice big splotches of various ranges of gray in there, and this will probably only go down, it's probably only going to go down to right about here. So I'm still going to have plenty of fabric left to use this for something else. Maybe I'll put another heritage sampler on here. I don't know. I'm stitching this using this hank of silk from Mrs. Sadas and Mrs. Sadas Imas, and this is the color Rouge. And it is a very lovely, not super varied variegation in the color. We do have a little bit, but it's not so much that we don't just have this mostly all one color of this kind of eggplanty deep maroon. So yes, I am planning to stitch all of the female heritage samplers in shades of red. I have gotten a few more flosses in that I plan to use for different samplers since the last time I showed you this. Mostly the only stuff I hauled in the last 2 weeks was some floss. But I got this idea from Lori Holtz in one of her most recent videos, and I really, really loved it. And I love the idea of especially celebrating my female ancestors, but I do plan to celebrate the male ancestors as well. So really loving this piece. You may see this again by next week. I really don't ever have like super firm plans for what I'm going to stitch in the next fortnight between videos, but we'll see if this pops back out. The final project that I stitched on and just finished working on this morning before I move on to another thing is Halloween This Way by Primitive Hare. This is the project from my last year's Mania that I randomly chose with you to stitch on for this week, and I was really delighted that this got chosen for a few reasons, but like I hadn't worked on this since last May, so I was really excited, and I think that I got a lot done. This is a lot for me. So previously I had this whole signpost outlined. It actually looks a little bit more orangey in here, but that's okay. It's definitely orange, but it's this color is Ginger Snap from Gentle Arts, and it's really beautiful in the variegation. I really, really love it. I'm stitching all the boxes. Oh, this is 2 strands of floss over 1, and this is a 30 count piece of fabric that goes with the pattern. And I'm stitching each square at a time so I can make sure I get the lovely variegation. And so I had done all the black last time. And so this time when I went in, I filled out Sanderson House, and that's just using DMC 1. And then there's tiny little green bubbles over here. But then after all that was filled in, I could just go in and just do fill-in work. I think I worked on this for 3-ish days, and I just did fill-in work and finished this. I filled up this whole sign, and it was so, so nice. This morning, I wrote the letters for the next sign, which, can you see it? It says Flying School. That is actually so hard to read on the pattern. This was the most tedious part, is trying to pick out these letters and both of these signs so far from the symbols that are the fill-in backing. It was really hard to read it. So I have the letters in. So the next time I pick this up, I will just need to work on the border, and then it'll be just fill-in time again, which is so, so nice. I really like it. This outside black, it's not DMC. It's Gentle Art's Witching Hour, which is not an incredibly variegated floss. So if you wanted to cut costs a little bit, you could definitely just use DMC there. So in any case, I really loved working on this. I really, really loved it. So pretty soon I'm going to be coming up on the time when I need to decide which Mania pieces are going to stick around past their 1-year anniversary. And I'm definitely going to stick with this one. I really enjoyed it quite a bit. So I really don't have that much haul to share with you today. Haul is what we call, actually in the nail polish world, I think they call it that, in the beauty community, but also in the cross stitch community, it's like, what did I intake this week? What did I shop for this week? And mostly I was shopping for flosses, not really into pattern hunting this last couple weeks. So I just have a little bit to share with you as far as that's concerned. So like I said, really the only haul that I did, accumulation of new products, was some floss. And then this one pattern, because I think I found a place to find like one of the Karen water lilies that I needed, and I didn't want to just ship one thing. So I also picked up this cutie from Brenda G. This is Bittersweet and Broomsticks from With Thy Needle and Thread. So cute. So anyway, this was just like the accompany piece, but really I was just wanting to pick up floss. So I didn't show you the flosses that I already integrated into my Chatelaine, but it is, that was maybe like 6 or 7 of the required fancy flosses. And then I also got these sulkies because I just hear people talking so much about how they love sulky. So I got a big one of this red. I think this is called, I think it's called Brick Red. They don't have the names on them, which I think is interesting. But it is number 4007. And there's so much variegation in there, and I've just heard that they're so nice to stitch with, so I'm really looking forward to that. There's a couple neutrals in there, and blues and greens for the Modern Folk Embroidery Sal for this year, which I haven't decided yet when I want to start that, but I thought, let me pick up some of those and see if I like them for that. And then these ones are the most variegated and really, really beautiful. This one was called Autumn something, but there's mustard and kind of a pinky red and orange in there. So good. That's number 4006. Number 4020 is a really lovely bohemian neutral kind of vibe. Lots of different shades of green in there, but then there's also some tan. That's 4020. And then this one is so pretty. This is like a whole rainbow in a floss. So this one you could just use on its own, and then maybe like a black or whatever you want to do for another color. But that's 4106. So that's pretty much it. Mostly I was just enjoying stitching right now. Not really feeling the need to pick up a lot of things except more silk for my chatelaine. I always want more silk. Now that we've talked about whips and haul, we're going to talk about, we're going to pick a new project for me from my Mania 2022 projects. You guys know the drill if you've been with me for a while. So I did Mania last year. I started 22 new projects. Some of them I finished. Some are still in the rotation because, you know, I only worked on them for a couple hours that day or whatever. So, I devised a way to kind of get some more progress on them, which was to put them into a list and then use a random generator to pick one project at random because I like being surprised and I like random things. And then I will work on that at some point in the next 2 weeks. Not only on that, but at some point I will put in a considerable amount of work on it. So we're going to go ahead and pick that now. It is now time to choose which random project I will work on between now and next video. These are from my 2022 Mania. These are the Mania starts that haven't yet been kicked out. So if you imagine there were 22, now there are 17, meaning I've either finished or kicked out 5 of them. By the time we get to May, again, I will decide which others of these need to go. So we are slowly making our way through working on them, and I haven't had a repeat yet. Watch this be the time that I get a repeat because I'm drawing your attention to it. But we use this random generator to help us see what project we need to work on. Number 4. Hey, I get to work on the fox a year in the woods again. That's super fun. So when I decided to do this, I didn't say, hey, I'm going to do everything one time, you know, before I start anything else over again. So that's all right with me. I really like this project, the fox. You guys have seen that before. I'll put up on the screen where I was at the end of last time that I was stitching on it. Maybe this time I'll work on the house. We'll see. But that's very exciting because I have almost all of the others of that whole year's stitch along. So I need to get the fox done. So we'll see how much work I can get in on that in the next couple weeks. All right, so as far as plans, you just saw what my random stitch is going to be. So excited that I get more progress on Mr. Fox. I do plan on having one new start this next 2-week period of time. I will put it right up here. I have been waiting to start this until I accumulated the full lineup of the 103s. I know some people really like 103s, some people don't really care for it. I wanted to give it a try, and I decided with this Louisa Barney Reflet de Soie piece to go ahead and try them. And so I purchased them all from Needle in a Haystack, and they are finally to me, so I'm ready to get started on it. I don't know where I'm gonna start. I typically start top left, but maybe I should choose something else this time. Maybe I'll start top right. Should we mix it up? Should we get crazy? So that'll be my new start this week. And then, I don't know. We're definitely going to work on Fox, but then we'll see what else calls to me. I just like to kind of sit there and feel, what does my soul need to stitch on today? That is definitely how I enjoy stitching. I don't like to feel any certain like obligation to my stitching because it's my me time. It's for my renovation of spirit, and yeah. So just wait and see what calls to me. So that's pretty much it for this Flosstube. Like I said, please come join me on the Moonshine Stitchery channel on YouTube, and I'll link it down below. So you can make sure to subscribe there, and you won't miss any of those Flosstube videos. I really appreciate you being here today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a fantastic stitchy 2 weeks. I'll see you back then. Take care. Bye.